One of my absolute favorite Pokemon, and that abomination. Tauros is a Pokemon that I don't think about that often, but when it does come back into my head, I absolutely adore them. I think they're a great design, they're very simple, yet still pretty effective, and quite frankly, one of my favorite arcs of the entire anime was the Orange Island Championship match, and Tauros was basically an MVP during that match. I don't think he actually... No, I think he took out one Pokemon, but then he was used against, like, half the team, because Tauros is pretty good. And I also just think it's funny that Ash has, like, 40 Tauros running around. That's something that I personally think is really funny about it. And then Miltank's a tank. From the Pokemon Fingerpuppet line that I love oh so much, but don't know anything about because I want surprises at Planet Fun, I have 3 Tauros that all have some pretty interesting differences amongst them, and also a Miltank, because when else am I ever going to do a video on Miltank? So I normally talk about how many years of difference are between these puppets, but actually all 3 of these Tauros are from 1997. I'm doing this more just to show the interesting differences that would have happened with these puppets during the first couple years of their production, and Miltank is from 2000, which is the same year as Gold and Silver, which is, of course, the game Miltank came from, so I don't know, man. Taking a closer look at what I'm going to dub our baseline Tauros, you see the colors on this Tauros are pretty accurate. The sculpting is very well done, it's the same mold across all 3. A little bit of paint scuff on the horn, but I can always just imagine that that's because of how rough and tumble this particular Tauros is. Overall, I'm very impressed. This is actually one of the better early year Fingerpuppets I've seen. Now we get to this stranger Tauros, and you might not notice it at first, but it's actually translucent, as you can see my pinky in there. This is a thing in the Fingerpuppets where there are special chase variants that are translucent. I have a couple. I think I have a Roserade and a few of my favorites in translucent, but Tauros here was actually the first Fingerpuppet I ever found that was translucent, and I found it before I found the normal Tauros, so I actually spent a long while just thinking that I had a weird Fingerpuppet. Now we get to the odd one of the batch. Now, when I got this guy, I talked to a few friends, and they thought that maybe this was a take on a shiny Tauros, but this came in 97 before shiny Pokemon were a thing. What this likely is just because the Fingerpuppets being young, Pokemon being young, Nintendo never having the best factories, this is just a paint error. And you see that a lot in the first year Fingerpuppets. Weeping Bell, especially, Muck as well. I'll show a few of those maybe one day. And then this thing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Miltank. My friend Maddie is a huge fan, so this might tickle him, but yeah, this is just a Pokemon. I got 3 winners here.